Welcome to One World News. We take you back to the intervening night of December 2 and 3, 1984, a night when time stood still in Bhopal. It was the night of the world's worst industrial disaster, the Bhopal Gas Tragedy. 40 years later, its devastating impact continues to haunt the city and its people. The disaster began at midnight when a lethal gas, methyl isocyanate, leaked from the Union Carbide pesticide factory. Silent and invisible, it spread across the city, killing thousands in the sleep. We woke up choking, our eyes were burning, and there was chaos everywhere, says a survivor who lost 3 family members that night. The numbers tell a horrifying story. Officially, 2,259 people died that night, but the true toll is far higher. In the days and years that followed, over 20,000 were succumbed to gas-related illnesses. Over 5,74,000 were exposed to the toxic fumes. But the tragedy didn't end here. The toxic gas didn't just poison the air, it poisoned the people, their lives, and even future generations. The survivors carried the toxic imprint in their bodies, which is now being passed down to their children and grandchildren. We see higher rates of cancer, birth defects, and neurological issues among the second and third generations. Studies confirm this grim reality. Babies born to gas-exposed parents show higher rates of disabilities, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and learning disorders. A recent study revealed that men born in Bhopal in 1985 have higher cancer rates compared to those born before and after. This is the terrible legacy of Bhopal. Every year we see more children born with disabilities because their parents or even grandparents were exposed to the gas that night. At the Chingari Center, over 1,000 children are registered, many with cerebral palsy, autism, and muscular dystrophy. I was 8 months pregnant when the gas leaked. My daughter was born with nasal complications. The pain hasn't left us, says a survivor. Families like Ombati Yadav's live in the shadow of the tragedy. Her grandsons were born with cerebral palsy and muscular dystrophy. The situation is worsening. Survivors face chronic illnesses, while second and third generations are suffering birth defects. This tragedy is far from over. 40 years on, the Union Carbide factory still looms over Bhopal, a chilling reminder of a disaster that changed lives forever. The site remains a toxic hazard with no complete cleanup and justice for victims. As Bhopal remembers this dark night, the survivors and their families continue to fight for justice and healthcare. For them, the tragedy is not just a memory, it's an ongoing reality passed down through generations. Stay tuned for more stories about human and environmental costs of industrial disasters. Thank you for joining us.